All right, everybody, just doing the mic check real quick. Let me make it so you can see what I see here. What is up, everybody? I see Blues Guy already in the house. He says, oh yeah, live stream incoming. Gonna be fun to learn about Anoma. Thanks, Underground G. Oh, let me turn this down. I don't want to listen to myself talk now, but the mic is good. And he says, Underground Crypto is dedicated to his followers and challenges. I already hit the like. Have you? Great comment there to start us off with. Thanks very much for being here, Blues Guy. I greatly appreciate you. And yeah, we're going to be talking about Anoma. I bought a tiny bit of it right before I hopped on. I think it was at like 12 cents. I did not buy a lot. So it was very little amount of money. Like very little amount of money. Not because I think it's going to do like 1000x or something like that. Just because I think it's a very interesting product, product. And I want to hold a little bit of it. It's a lot more funner to watch it go up when you've been holding it. Also, if it goes down, I didn't buy a lot of it. So either way, I'm winning in my opinion. Now, I did notice right before I was about to hop on that Crypto Lifer was going live at 8 p.m. as well for the monthly candle close. And then I panicked and I was like, I'll just cancel the stream. Then I was like, I can't do that. Can't cancel the stream. There are plenty of people who are maybe not lifers who will come through. Crypto Maniac in the house. Yo, what's up? We are going to be talking about Anoma today. But anyways, I'm just going to live anyways. It's just because it's a monthly close and it's only going to happen every once in a blue moon. If I catch it in advance, I'll probably change the time. But then I don't like changing the time too much for people who find us organically and would come at 8 p.m. So we're just going to rock through it. It is what it is. We are looking at crypto bubbles and, of course, Anoma today, XAN. And I was just telling Blues Guy that I bought a very small amount of it, just so if it starts pumping or going up or anything, it'll be fun to watch. Now, of course, it's come out. It hasn't really done much. It's only been out since the 29th, which was literally yesterday. And it's done some pullback. We're going to take a look at all that kind of stuff. XPL getting beat up again. The chart didn't look so great on XPL, actually. On the daily, looks like Aster's down 15.3%. Has the DEX narrative slowed down? That's kind of the question. And we said for weeks that it was hot, but at some point it was going to slow down. Now it could catch another rally, catch another pump for sure. But at some point, a lot of times, Cryptomaniac says, I'm a lifer, but I got you. I definitely appreciate that, Cryptomaniac. Watchman24 says, how we doing? We're doing great. I'm honestly super excited for this deep dive today because hopefully we're going to learn a little bit more about it and some of the questions that I have as far as where I think this could go and how much momentum is behind it. Maybe we could answer some of those questions. But anyways, I was just saying that it seems like the perpetual DEX craze has slowed down a little bit, and it could pump again, but it just as easily could change to a different trend, right? The big money there probably made their money. Let's look at the hour. Hour looking much greener. I'm liking that. That was BTC getting a pump. Not on the hourly, it's not. So yeah, looks a lot better. Looks like Memecore and Aster, all the ones that are the biggest down on the daily, getting a small bounce. Aster, XLP. Oh, Memecore's not even down though. Memecore is way up. Memecore has been seriously pumping. It really has been seriously pumping. Let's look at it on, so the daily has 43% and the monthly's up 280%. It had been trending for a long time. I don't tend to buy things that are super meme-ish. I obviously hold some memes. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's do our usual, just take a quick look at what our prices are. So Bitcoin, 114,168. I don't know why I stuttered on that, but I did. Ethereum, 4,149, above that $4,000 mark. XRP, 285. A lot of these things not too different than yesterday. Today felt very sideways, right? We didn't get a big dump, which was great, but not a whole lot of pump action, really. Everything up very little, 0.9, 0.5, 0.5, but still green. That's in the last hour, not the 24. Anyways, you get my point. It's mostly sideways action. 209 for Solana, Dogecoin 23 cents, Cardano 80 cents, Chainlink $21.31, Avalanche $30, Hyperliquid $45.31, SWI $3.26, and that's usually where we stop. I mean, HBAR 21 cents. See what we got going on here. Says Blues Guy, BTC just crossed 1 minute 200 MA. Okay. Well, that's probably getting a little bit of excitement there. I hope that continues to go. Now let's go to what is trending. Let's see, Aster, Open Eden. That's not one that I remember seeing a lot. Falcon Finance, I said that thing had gotten listed in a few places. Anoma. It's funny, I just looked at what was trending probably 35-40 minutes ago, and I thought I didn't see Anoma. So I'm glad to see that it is trending today. And if you look at the very bottom of that kind of pullback, that dump there, it does look like it's rounding out. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I said we're going to try a new thing where instead of immediately opening everything, we're going to go kind of look at both places here first. And so not a whole lot different here. Anybody see anything we haven't really talked about? Bless, we've talked about that. Anoma also trending. So Anoma's showing up on both CoinGecko and CryptoRank. And okay, and so one side is top 20 coin search in the last 7 days. The other side is top 20 most visited coins in the last 7 days. So similar, but not the exact same thing. Yield basis, we took a look at that. T was for developers. Anoma showing up in that category as well. So people were searching it. You know, a lot of people were kind of giving it some crap because it had pulled back. And it's like it's been out for 1 day. You know, the VCs are dumping on everybody is what it seems like to me. Now, I do want to pull up CoinMarketCap. Because let's take a look at what's trending over there and see if Anoma is trending over there as well. I don't know too many other places to look at this. We got like the three main ones here: CoinGecko, CryptoRank, and CoinMarketCap. How long of a list do they give us? Holy moly, that's a long list. Usually when it's top trending, it's like 20. So let's see. Do we see Anoma here? Yep, there it is, number 22. Still chilling at 12 cents. Does have a little caution warning. I don't use CoinMarketCap very often, so that's interesting. And their Fear and Greed Index says 43. What does CryptoRank's Fear and Greed Index say? Come on, go back. It says 49, and I'm rocking with CryptoRanks. We have been comparing it to the one Lifer always uses, the one I'm used to seeing, and it's been the same. It was like 2 weeks straight. It was exactly the same every day. So I'm going with CryptoRanks, Fear and Greed Index, and not CoinMarketCaps. Anyways, let's get ourselves back to what is trending. It didn't look like there was a whole lot of new stuff to talk about as far as that goes. Now, on CoinMarketCap, there were quite a few random things, right? This club token, QUQ, whatever that is. We did see Alpine a couple of days ago. All right. So we got this in our back pocket if we want to look at it. Now, Anoma itself has an ecosystem, and we're going to be looking at those coins today. So I don't want to spend too much time only looking at trending and stuff like that, because there's a good chance we're going to spend a good part of the show looking at the ecosystem of Anoma. Got to get something to drink if I'm going to talk for 2 hours. All right. So let's open up Open Eden. I know we've taken a look at this before. Just take a look at it real quick. 637 by market cap chart. Not looking so great. Oh, wait. That's a 24-hour chart. Okay. Is this newer? Oh, this is out today. So it must have been a different project I was thinking out. It's a funny way to say that. All right. Open Eden. Ticker Eden. I've definitely seen a project with Eden or something of that nature as a ticker before. 73.8 million in its market cap. Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum contracts. Real world assets. Same with the stable coins. How many real world assets are going to, or projects doing real world asset stuff are going to be able to survive, right? How much room in the market is there? I mean, it's a huge market. So as long as the different, projects kind of niche themselves out, could do well. Look at ArtFi. So redefining finance with real world asset tokenization. And this is pretty standard financial stuff with, it's like more like pretty standard RWA stuff with a hint of finance. It's all the same thing, right? Bill's Point campaign is live. Check out Bill's. Bill's doesn't sound fun. Bill's sounds like something you pay that you don't want to pay. I don't know. That doesn't sound fun at all. I'm going to skip that. All right. So we know what it is. At least when you see it, you'll know what it is. Anoma pulled back, was healthy. Looked like it bottomed at 09. Looking good, holding 11 cents. Yeah, I bought it 12 cents, I think. And I didn't buy much. I mean, I bought like $50 worth. It might be less. I think it might have been like $45 worth. It's just so if it pumps, it'll be fun to watch. And I won't feel like I didn't buy any. But I didn't buy a lot of it. So let's go look at Anoma. I don't really see anything here that we're missing that I wanted to look at. There's this ZK Verify. I don't know if we looked at that. We just want to know what it is, right? Let's go to the max chart. Oh, this is another one that launched today. All right. So I'm going to write them down just because they did launch today. And the other one was Eden. All right, cool. So this one has $36.7 million in its market cap. Base blockchain website, ZK Verify. ZK is zero knowledge. And yeah, just a base blockchain. That's it. Tags say zero knowledge. Okay, and that's the only tag they have. All right. So zero knowledge, verify. Zero doubt. The universal verification layer, ultra fast and built to scale across any system. Blues Guy says, why did you buy a lot? Just curious. I think he meant, why didn't I buy a lot? Honestly, because the majority of my money has been allocated already. So I didn't really have a lot of funds at this very moment. Next couple of days I'll have more. But at this very moment I didn't have a lot of funds to throw in it. And also it's very new. I kind of want to see it give us something, when even if I don't buy at at 12 cents, it goes up. Say it goes up to like 20 cents and starts flagging out and looking good, then maybe I'd want to throw a little bit more money in it. But and that was just a random scenario. But yeah, so this is ZK. This is a verifiable layer. Nothing crazy there, but that's why I didn't buy a lot of it. I'm assuming that's what you meant. I didn't load up on it. I guess I could have took that and put it on, a perpetual contract if there is any. I don't really know. Is there perpetual contracts for this? Doesn't really tell you down here. Oh, these are spot. Okay, so there are perpetual contracts for this. I forget sometimes you can do that. Go down here and change from spot. I'm so used to telling people about where they can buy it, which would be more like spot. You wouldn't say, hey, you could buy it in perpetuals. So Binance Futures, OKX, Bybit, BingX, KuCoin, Bitmart Futures has it. And I do have a link to Bitmart. And also you can buy it, just straight spot on Coinbase, which is one of the things that I feel like it has going for it. Like it's gonna not just look, but it will be a new coin listed on Coinbase. I'm honestly a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that it hasn't got a little more traction, but at the same time, I'm not, because it's such a new coin. And in the given of the way the market is right this second, today wasn't like the hottest day, the most hyped day to go jump into stuff. And he said, yeah, smart move. Yeah, we'll see. It might be a smart move. I might, it might take off. I'm not saying it will, but if it did, I would probably regret not buying more. And then there will be another coin and another coin and another coin. That's just how the game goes a lot of the time. So again, Anoma has a Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum contract. Let's pull up its website and also its Twitter. We'll start with the Twitter, or X. I don't know when we're going to stop having to say both. It's like they changed it and nobody knew which one to really say. And so now we just say both. Web3's operating system. We've talked about the narrative several times and we'll be continuing to. And oh my goodness, they're followed by MySeal. I'm sure they're probably followed by all the projects, really. MySeal's just the only one that I follow. So 219.2 thousand followers. That's not that small. Now, this is where it is always a little bit weird, where it says like joined October 2020. Have they been posting since that time? I don't know. It'd probably take me forever to go back to like their first post. There's got to be an easy way to do that, right? Doesn't look like there's an easy way to do that. Would you say that XAN has something to offer that no other project offers? Ecosystem looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't want to give you a direct answer to that right this second, because that's really what the question and the basis of what we're doing today is. Took a while, but I just call it X now. Exactly. I mean, I like calling it X better than Twitter. When it was Twitter, I never used it. I never liked it, never wanted any part of it. And it was not political at all. It was actually the format. I just wasn't used to it when it first came out. Had Facebook. Facebook wasn't as dead as it is now. And, had several other, just didn't feel like using it. They got a little hype video, pin post. They have 144,000 impressions since September 29th, which is literally yesterday. I do like to see more impressions on a pin post, especially like a video that's hype. More impressions than they have followers. They're close, right? And it hasn't been very many days. It's been like one day. A lot of times you'll see crazy numbers on the pin post, but it's been 4 or 5 a month, couple weeks, a good amount of time. So can't judge them too hard for that. Build apps, not chains. That's an interesting concept. And remember, it's all about intent. One thing that I like is when you see kind of the narrative change or a new narrative come about, or even a evolution of a previous narrative come about. Kind of signals a change. It signals a new place for hype and excitement to garnish, to be built up, All right, I got all the chats. So we have read this several times, but we'll read it again, right? Anoma is a distributed operating system for intent-centric, keyword, applications. It unifies underlying blockchains into a single development environment, ending the fragmentation of state and users that limits today's decentralized applications. So they're saying that fragmentation of state and users limits today's decentralized applications. So there's a limitation to today's applications. This is what they're going to solve. You got to break it down. Sometimes it's literally you just read the sentences backwards. You know what I mean? Kind of an odd tactic, and not literally word for word, but kind of break it down in a different way than it was written. Can give you some key insights, right? So user-centric and info-abstract. There's another word that's different than what you normally see. So put your users at the center of blockchain experience and abstract away the complexities of underlying infrastructure, right? So so users at the center of your blockchain experience, right? And then you have complexities, and looks like their method is to abstract away the complexities. What exactly does that mean? Compatible with any chain. So this part, if true, is super bullish, because this is like interoperability, on steroids. And you got some, a lot of geometry going on here. Like there's a lot of geometry in a lot of their artwork here. So that's very interesting. So access users, state, and settlements on any chain Anoma is connected to with one deployment. Okay. So composable with everything. Compose interactions at the intent level. So this is very much in their wording, right? This intent level, not just the transaction level. So what's the difference between an intent level and a transactional level, right? Unifying state across connected chains. And state, what does state mean, right? So express, and it's a technical term, right? Express any user's intent and create arbitrary application types that are fully decentralized. Scale free and cost free. This part, again, if true, would be on kind of another level, but they don't really define themselves anything. So it's scale free and cost effective. Scale as much as the law of physics allow, thanks to Anoma's unique approach to scalability. And, you know, what would the law of physics necessarily have to do in the digital realm? I guess they do apply for sure. So programmable data sovereignty. So control what data is shared with whom and for what purpose, and empower your users with full sovereignty over their own data. That is a very decentralized ideal. Apps that work like magic. Apps on Anoma. Anoma introduces a new era, so they very much at least are touting or hyping up that they are on to something new, right? Whether it's brand new or just evolutionary in blockchain, they definitely are coming across like they're very much doing something different. Now, are they doing something different? I don't know. Is it all a charade? That I also don't know. So Anoma introduces a new era of decentralized applications where you define the outcome you want. Declare your intent and let Anoma handle the rest. Now, how are they doing that? Not 100% sure. So from virtual machine to IM. So intent machine. And then it shows different blockchains all going into this intent machine. So it is very much about interoperability, in my opinion. So I heard you mention abstract. Abstract, existing in thought or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. Right, which like the very beginning of kind of the definition you gave there says existing in thought. Well, wouldn't the existing in thought be intent? Because if I intend to do something, I haven't done it yet. It only exists in thought. So I feel like that is very much what they're running with. But what in the world does that even mean? That itself is very abstract, right? So build on the intent machine and forget the complexities of smart contracts. So right here, that kind of gives us a little bit of insight. So forget the complexities of smart contracts. So are they saying that they have an answer better than smart contracts? That would be pretty evolutionary in blockchain. And cross-chain integration. So not just the complexities of smart contracts, but also cross-chain integration. Create fully scalable, expressive apps that provide an unmatched user experience across any chain. Now, again, we're not here drinking the Kool-Aid, right? That is not what we're here for. But we are going to read what they have to say, think about it, hear them out, and then try to calculate if they're actually able to deliver what they're saying, you know, as time goes on, as we look at different information. It is indeed, and everything starts in the mind. Exactly. And so maybe that's what they're capitalizing on, but, you know, you can't change blockchain with just a bunch of cool ideas in your head. You know, they do have to do something. So when they say forget the complexities of smart contracts and cross-chain integration, okay, with what? You know? And so that's kind of what we're here to figure out. Now, they say Web3's most intense community. It trips me up every time. So I want to say intense, but they just barely changed that. And it's probably kind of a cool play on words there, right? Join the mage, conjuring a more human-centric future for decentralized application. And not a big fan of the mages, but it is what it is. Maybe it's good branding. So they do have like a learn tab. And since we're really, really deep diving into this project and we really want to understand what it is, we're going to have to read a little bit of this. Now, are we going to read every little bit of it? We might read a good bit of it, but we're going to want to break it up, right? So I will duplicate this tab, and we'll go ahead and pull up the ecosystem, and we'll kind of keep coming back to it. Very much how when we're doing research on something like layer 1 or layer 2 or something like that, and I pull up the research, well, we're going to break it up. So we'll read the first paragraph here, which is, what is Anoma? A distributed operating system for intent-centric apps. This is something we've already learned, right? Anoma is the next big leap in the evolution of blockchain architecture. It introduces a new intent-centric paradigm for dApps and provides a unified developer experience across any underlying blockchains. Again, we kind of mostly got that, but they are here again talking about intent-centric paradigm, right? So that shows that's revolutionary. That's something new, you know, that's important. Anyways, how are we going to keep this straight, right? So they do have filters on this. So do we know who is behind any names? That is also something I had already thought about, and I really liked how Crypto Rank gives you a lot of times the team and stuff like that. So we'll start there and we'll try to find them other places. They might not tell us. Okay, so we have a team here, co-founder, but we want the founder, right? Why you show us 3 co-founders? I want to know who the founder is. That's how I feel about it. And don't worry, Blues Guy, we are going to really break into this. Again, we've only been doing this show for about 2 months, so we're going to get better and better and better at really breaking down all the nitty-gritty details. This is fun because we get to really go to work on one specific project, right? All right, so in the ecosystem, they have this diagram. This diagram is actually really useful in the fact that it's going to make it easy to go through their ecosystem, because I looked at CoinGecko. They're really good about having, you know, their categories well niched out and all of the, you know, ecosystems well put together. They don't have like anything on this, so that is very interesting. I'm sure they will in a short period of time. So also you can come through and you can click like just AI. I don't know why it insists on zooming in when you change it. Probably because they just put them close around, and you can do multiple of them. We're just going to do all, right? And we'll just kind of go through them. So we have this Spicenet. Now this is a brand new coin with a brand new ecosystem. So if a lot of these projects aren't really super built out yet, what does that mean? How do we have to feel about that? You know, I'm not just going to tell everybody what to think all the time, because I want to encourage people to think. And also, I don't know every little bit of everything. You know, I'm just me doing what I know to be best, right? So I really wanted to bring everybody together to do this, but anybody in the chat who has a question, something to say, obviously Blues Guy is not scared to say some things in this chat, and I really love that. That's the type of community vibes that I really want. So Spicenet, so if you have any questions about anything that we go over, no question is really too dumb, you know? So the unified and composable liquidity layer for trading applications. So what I'm going to do in my notes here is write down every single thing we go over. Won't take me that long, and just put something like a key thing, like this says liquidity layer. I encourage you to take notes at home. If you don't want to, then that's your own prerogative, but you're not going to remember every single one of these projects and what they are, right? And they have a little website here we can go to. Now, the one thing that I want to see is all these different projects that seem to be very much built around Anoma. Are they only going to exist on Anoma? Are we going to see these projects getting listed on CoinGecko, you know, and other places? Are we going to see them start getting listed on exchanges? Is this ecosystem going to have tons of other coins in its ecosystem? So we got, looks like somebody new in the chat says, do you go into a lot of different cryptos? Absolutely. This is the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Research Show. This is exactly what we do. You caught us on a good day, Alex, because we're really breaking into very specifically one coin and its ecosystem. A lot of times, though, we do things like Avalanche's ecosystem, or we break down what is a modular blockchain. That's one that we've done. So we're all about raising the crypto IQ and staying on top of what is trending and what is new in crypto for projects. Could be a narrative. You know, we're just pretty much all over whatever there is to know in crypto. And my whole slogan is I want to see people's crypto IQ be raised, because how many people have stuff in their portfolio and at the end of the day they don't even really know what it is or what it does. So why are they invested in it? That's kind of the thesis here. And he says, I'll subscribe. Have you heard of Toshi? Yeah. Oh yeah, I bought Toshi, I don't know, probably a year ago. I bought some Toshi and it's done pretty well for me. And I used to do, this is just for Alex, everybody else probably knows this who's always here, I used to do a lot of pre-recorded videos. Toshi's one that I've done at least one, if not two videos on, and now we've really moved into this live show, which I think just gives a lot more value. But I still do pre-recorded videos. And Alex, if you haven't heard of Lighter yet, it's a perpetual DEX that has really good connections and backings. I've made 2 videos pre-recorded about it, spent tons of hours putting them together, so definitely check those out. They're pretty cool. That's awesome. I appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you very much. And I started this channel because, and I'm just gonna say one more thing before we get right into it. I started this channel because I was trying to find somebody who did this kind of content. Could not find anybody who did this kind of content. So I said, well, that seems like there's a void in the market. I should do this kind of content. And I'd already been studying crypto for years. So the brokerage network for DeFi, and this is called Spicenet. This is inside the Anoma ecosystem, at least according to their ecosystem chart. Now, this thing is about liquidity. So what niche would we put this into, right? We always say narrative, category, niche. Break things down and have categories to put things in will help you look at a list of coins and be able to navigate them, right? So this is finance, you know, this is liquidity. And then think about this. When a new ecosystem comes out, what order, but not just what order, what things does it need? If new projects are going to build on a new ecosystem, they need liquidity, they need funding, they need to be able to pay developers, they need to come to the table with visions, get approved for incubation, you know, and different layers and projects call that different stuff. Hopefully I'm giving you some, you know, crypto IQ raising information here. So as the ecosystem gets built, liquidity is really the #1 thing. And now this is why we talk about liquidity being one of the great things to invest in, right? Airdrop on Base blockchain, Deep Book for SWI, even Black Hole for Avalanche, even though it hasn't done real great yet, but that ecosystem really is still getting up off the ground, to be honest with you. Spicenet enables universal access to the top DeFi venues across all networks, creating better financial outcomes. So one thing that I thought would be pretty interesting to do, and we'll do it somewhere where we're not already doing things. We'll get rid of CoinMarketCap for now, and let's pull up another CoinGecko. CoinGecko is still kind of my favorite. It's just what I'm used to using the most. And let's try to pull up Spicenet. See if we even get a hit. So there's not even a hit on the radar of CoinMarketCap. And we will do the same thing to CryptoRank. Or I'll just close CryptoRank as a tab altogether. Hold on momentarily for technical difficulties. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just got to open CryptoRank again. Where is it? There it is. All right, cool. So let's see if we get any hits over here. Spicenet. Okay, so something came up on CryptoRank here. It does not look like it's the same thing. Total raise 3 million. Has a very, I don't know, meme-ish little thumbnail here. I don't think this is the same thing, right? Anyway, so we'll move on from that, and we'll kind of pull them up and see. So, you know, did this project come up with the most mastermind elaborate plan to just make a bunch of fake things in their ecosystem and none of this is real? I don't know. Anything is possible, though. If I've learned anything from the crypto lifer, it's to know that anything is possible. So it's unlikely, very unlikely, but we'll put that in the back of our mind, right? Who's building with Spicenet? New integrations are going live every day. So, you know, how much vetting do they do with these projects when they say, hey, we want to be in your ecosystem, and they build something? Because they're all about building dApps. I mean, you could probably build a dApp. Matter of fact, when you go to their ecosystem, it says submit your project right here. So are these just a bunch of projects that have submitted themselves? How well are they vetted? These are all questions that that we should really keep in mind. Alex says, awesome, I appreciate the work you're doing. Okay, I read that. And he said, I subscribed. Hey, I greatly appreciate your subscription. See, the influx here and people watching is like big. People must be bouncing back and forth between me and Crypto Lifer. I did not realize he was going to be live tonight. All right. Spicenet is for DeFi. DeFi is full of potential, yet devs are boxed in with each venue, demanding a custom integration, constant upkeep, and complex workarounds. So this is a moment for us to try to understand the world of a developer, or the life of a developer, right? So this is saying that they're constantly bombarded with demands of custom integration and constant upkeep and complex workarounds. That seems to add up. The results: non-competitive liquidity, poor yields, limited asset choice, and users who don't stick around. Spicenet transforms this chaos of DeFi into an opportunity. So it seems like they're thinking ahead here. Fragmentation is a given. We make it work for you and turn that complexity into leverage. So they're saying the right things, right? Spicenet for chains. Make your ecosystem the best place for apps to scale and compete across all of DeFi. Spicenet for apps. Build new DeFi primitives, deliver better outcomes, and scale without compromise. All right, I see Blues Guy had something to say. I'm just going to read this last one. Spicenet for assets. Issue new generation assets with assurance, DeFi primitives, and banking infrastructure enshrined from the get-go. All right, Blues Guy saying a lot of stuff here. Co-founder interview. Adrian Brink. And intent is very simple. A partial state transaction. A transaction is something you can immediately execute. For example, on ETH, you can update the global state. But if you'd like to trade, say I have ETH and I want BTC in exchange, that's not something I can execute directly on Ethereum. I could send ETH to an automated market maker, but I can't just say, here's my ETH from BTC. So they want to come, I guess, in the middle of that, very much solving a lot of interoperability. And, man, YouTube's got to be lying to me. It says there's only 3 people watching. There's no way. I know Blues Guy is here, so that's definitely more than 3. If you factor in that I have it on my phone and I know one other person who's definitely watching, the numbers be crazy. Anyways, like I always say, none of that matters. I'm all about learning. I created this whole thing, this whole channel and everything to also keep myself accountable, right? Because I kept knowing that I needed to do some deep research on a daily basis, and I was doing it a couple of times, you know, some weeks better than others, a couple of times a week. And so I created this channel also to very much hold myself accountable. So I'm going to be here deep diving and researching regardless of who's here, just for the heck of it. Oh, and Blues Guy's still going with the stuff from the interview. Hey, Blues Guy, can you put wherever you got this stuff from the interview, can you put a link in the Discord? Also, shout out to everybody who's watching or anybody who's watching later on. Discord link is in the description. Feel free to hop in, jump in, where we kind of always have more information coming than maybe you just find in the live. So what an intent captures is partial state transitions. Tiny letters here I gotta read. At least 2 intents are required. I want to trade ETH for BTC and someone else wants BTC for ETH. A solver can identify that these two and I'm sure there will be more, So Alex says, yes, sir. Awesome. Yeah, definitely hop in that Discord. I assume that's what you're saying. Yes, sir, too. Create better financial outcomes. So we have Spicenet. So, and honestly, their website looks really good. It looks inviting. It looks like something I would want to sit here and read. Now, is it the most meme-ish, hype-ish website? No, it's not. Spicenet, a composable execution API SDK that connects your app and assets to the top liquidity venues, financial instruments, and yield sources across integrated chains. And I like what... Oh, what's up, Rails? Brother in the house, man. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate Blues Guy putting that stuff in the chat, because that was actually really good information when it came to how this works, what the point of it is, and what intent is, and the way that it works in their ecosystem, right? So we read that part. Unlock, turn access into better financial outcomes for users, and give them a reason to stay. Stay ahead anywhere with sharper execution from UX from a single integration. So again, I very much like where this is going. I like that it's very user first. At least that's the language and the way that they're speaking, right? So SpiceFlow is a scalable distribution that makes your app and assets feel native to users anywhere. So when you use them on different places, it'll still feel native. It's a good point, because if you've ever used something that's only been ported over to a different blockchain but was not built on that blockchain, sometimes it's a little clunky and doesn't feel like it was really made for that blockchain. Scale your app to any chain and instantly tap into 95% of users in crypto. Also, you got to realize, if you've ever used a wallet, if you've ever used Web3, if you've ever gone to PancakeSwap, probably one of the most common things that somebody's done in a Web3 environment, you're way ahead of the masses. Think about how many, this is said all the time, even on, Crypto Lifers channel, how early we are. We are super early into a lot of this. That's why the dividends of this research and this being on top of it, compounding over as long as you pay attention to this show, is going to, in my opinion, I believe, pay some serious dividends, because not a lot of people even own crypto, really, when you break it down by the population of the planet, right? A lot of people don't even know anything about crypto, yet alone own any. And how many of them do you think, out of the people who do own some crypto, how many of them do you think have Web3 wallets, know how to interact with a DEX, with a decentralized exchange? And we get so niched into crypto that we forget how early we are and how many people have absolutely no idea how to use it. So Blues Guy says, I play music, I love writing, I love playing. Sometimes I play live with very few people. Doing what you love is what matters, and the right people will show up. Brand new channel with great intents. I like that. Well said. Keep it up, Bruce. We are grateful that you've been digging into the crypto world. You seem like a chill dude. I'm gonna watch more lives. Alex, I appreciate you becoming part of the community. That's what it sounded like to me, and I appreciate it. I want to talk smart and give you guys the opportunity to raise your IQs, but I'm not trying to be, Mr. Know-it-all, smartest guy in the room, because in all honesty, I'm here to learn just like you guys. I wanted my environment to be very much us all learning together. Yes, because it's my channel, I have to stand up here and talk. I have to direct and lead a little bit, but it's not all about me being the smartest guy. That's not what I want. Anyways, let's just finish this up. Engage, make every interaction native with swaps, staking, and deposits across ecosystems. Grow, cut costs, and expand faster with simple front-end integrations and no fragmented liquidity or UX. Now, why was I saying everything I was saying before? Because I've done quite a bit of motion or movement or using, however you want to say it, in Web3 with Web3 products, different ecosystems. And sometimes you hit a lot of roadblocks where you're like used to using Binance Smart Chain, and you could easily kind of get in and out of this coin or get over there. And then like there's a newer ecosystem and you go into it, and it's like every time you turn around, you hit a brick wall and you can't do something. You can't go somewhere. It's not connected. So if there is a project that very specifically is just trying to connect all of them, and obviously there are other projects that have, but maybe Anoma has a better solution to how to do it, and that's been the name of the game. All right, so interview link sent in a sent in the Discord. Okay, thank you very much. I'm probably not going to pull it up at least this point. Just honestly, the fact that we've already rolled 45 minutes tells me we might be deep diving Anoma's ecosystem all week, honestly. Because I definitely want to get really niched into, I just want to get to the bottom of it, basically. That's really where I'm at. That's a good way to say it. So Crypto Maniac 1776 says the learning in crypto is never ending. Exactly. I mean, crypto is technology, right? And technology is always doubling, quadrupling, and expanding. And so we'll never get to the end of it, which is great for my channel. I'm not going to pretend like it's not. We could forever learn together, right? Forever learn together. That sounds like some kind of slogan I should be saying. Forever learn together. Underground crypto. Stay underground, stay crypto. I really need a good outro, so maybe I'll work that in there. So, ecosystem. Are we going to go into an ecosystem inside an ecosystem? So, this is Spicenet, and they're talking about Spout, FaroSwap, Avalanche, Avail, Injective, Orda Network. I mean, know some of these. MEGETH, Karak, I don't know what that is. Zenith, Summit, Camp Network. Camp Network is one I've heard about a lot recently. Agora, Barachain, Citri, Nerva, and it hasn't started over yet. Venisfi, Rouse, Faros. I have like 2 seconds to try to say these. Hemi, which we know is Bitcoin. DeFi, we've been over that a bunch. Dividends, and I mean, it just keeps going. Broken Proto. Is it really connected to all of these different things? Plume. Okay, so it finally started over, it looks like. Babylon. Wow, that's a lot of things that it's like a kind of ecosystem within an ecosystem, right? Alex says, I'm headed to bed with Bruce. All right, have a good night, man. Little Lost, he says, with Bruce. Who's Bruce? Is that your dog? Because Blues guy said, keep it up, Bruce. And now I'm just like, well, who's Bruce? All right. Yeah, that threw me off a little bit. Underground crypto, digging deep into crypto. Exactly. All right. So I think we'll leave this one alone. I think we got to the bottom of it. Very interesting. I like what it had to say. If it wasn't an interesting web page, you know, if it wasn't kind of saying some interesting stuff, we would have moved on from it much quicker. All right. Now what do we got next? Fragment Ventures. And yes, I would like to go through every single one of these. Now, some of these say, you know, some of these are like Avalanche and stuff like that. We're not going to click on Avalanche and go into that. So this is Figment Capital. Oh, let me write that down so I don't mess up this. All right, Figment Capital, a Web3 infrastructure investment fund. So what is it? It is an investment fund. Let me write that down. And a lot of times when I write things down, it just helps me remember it, honestly, even if I never go back and read it. Oh, Alex says, no, not that. W like W's in the chat. Who is Bruce? Bruce Lee? I don't know. You said Bruce first, Blues guy. You said, keep it up, Bruce. We are grateful that you are digging. Maybe you meant something else. And I got you, Alex. I got you. But if you are headed out, I appreciate you stopping by. So, funding the future of Web3. So, our thesis, compelling applications require compelling infrastructure, right? So, for Web3 to address major real-world problems, it needs to be faster, simpler, safer, and more functional. We need the infrastructure solutions that empower next generation Web3 applications. Oh, that's funny. Alex says, my bad, I thought your name was Bruce. Okay. Yeah, no, my name is Ron. I don't even know if I've ever really said my name on here. I didn't actually ever think about it. Yeah, no, my name is Ron. That's funny though. So Crypto Maniac says, I need October. My port is getting nuked. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's like a constant beatdown. Oh, I see. It was my typo. Yeah. And that's probably why he thought my name was Bruce. Hilarious. You know, the things that can happen and the way we can get a little bit turned around. It happens. I mean, you see me out here trying to read all these things like that kid in your, 7th grade class who had to read in front of everybody and was terrible at it. So, but we're just the show must go on. And Cryptomaniac, I feel you. Cryptomaniac, hope you caught my rant the other day about how, like, I'm pretty sure that they're just trying to shake out all of retail so that they'll all FOMO in at the top and buy the bags from the big institutions. If they all got in early and they ride it up to the top with the institution, and the institutions are trying to sell and the retail's trying to sell, who the heck are they going to sell it to? There's a fun little thing. Are they just going to sell it to all the exchanges? That won't end well at all. All right, so this is a little bit more dry than the last one we looked at. And I mean, you would have thought the liquidity layer would have been pretty dry, but it actually wasn't bad at all. I really was picking up what they were putting down. But this is just investment fund, right? And they want to give us like their history, and I don't think we really need that. So here's their team. I don't know. Why do they look like a skateboard team? At least this guy does. This guy definitely looks like he's been skateboarding most of his life. All right. So I think we'll kind of move a little quicker off of this one. I don't want you to feel like we're going to spend that much time on every project. We just really need to know what they are. I'll read them if they're interesting, though. So let's see what we got going on in the chat. Cryptomaniac says, yeah, I thought your name was Bruce, too. Did you think that because Blues Guy said Bruce? Why does everybody think my name is Bruce? It's wild. Yeah, that's too funny. Texting is cold and can be misunderstood, misleading, not easy. Yeah, absolutely. And no worries for anybody who thought my name was Bruce. It's not a big deal. Maybe I'll just pretend my name is Bruce from now on. That'd be hilarious. Till we have a meetup, then that won't be so hilarious. Yeah, I heard that. I've had my chance to sell, but I've been kind of dumb. I don't know, Cryptomaniac. I've had plenty of chances to sell too. I mean, that big rally we had, what was it, like December 2024, something like that, where like Dogecoin went to like 48 and my like portfolio actually moved significantly. Maybe I should have sold then. There's always that feeling a little bit, for sure. I had a plan, 4-year cycle. That's when I want to sell. And this is called electric capital. So it's probably going to be another capital thing, right? I had a plan I was going to sell with the 4-year cycle. And in some form, now I'm always ready to change with new information coming in. But unless I see something crazy, Trump comes out and says, we're investing, a bunch of money of the U.S. government into crypto and we're doing it next week, well, then that'll be some serious, different, new information. But governments and banks and institutions don't tend to move that quickly, right? Only on the sell button, it seems like. Ron means room in Spanish. Okay. And what does room mean? Or do I even want to know? It means rum? Rum like the alcohol? He said Bruce Ron. I'll take it. Ron doesn't look like a Bruce. It's hilarious. You guys are having too much fun with that. I'll be Bruce Lee. I've done enough Chinese martial arts in my life. I'll accept the Bruce Lee. Rum. Okay. Got you. I didn't even know that. That's very interesting. My background's Scottish, so I don't know why Ron is my name and what it means in the culture of Scotland. I have no idea. Anyways, where was I going? I was saying something. Oh, I wanted to say, I set out to do the 4-year cycle thing. I want to sell it. Unless I get some crazy different information, that's what I'm going to do. Even if I leave some runners. The super cycle narrative is really enticing. I'm still probably going to leave some runners, but I really didn't know anything about the 4-year cycle last time. And this is crypto talk, right? We're deep diving. We're talking about a lot of things. So I definitely didn't sell last cycle. The majority of the stuff I've held it, into the bear market because I didn't really even know a lot about 4-year cycle at that point. I'd heard it very briefly, but I didn't understand it. I certainly didn't know when the timelines were, right? So with that being said, the Scottish Jamaican pirate Bruce Ron. Hey, I love it. We are building a narrative here, Blues Guy. I like it. Let's stick with that. The Scottish Jamaican pirate Bruce Ron. I like that. Anyways, I think all of what I was trying to say is when he says I've been kind of dumb for not selling when he had chances. Every time that you sell and rebuy in, you know, and you don't hold it longer than a year, you put yourself in a different place for taxation on your crypto. Now, I don't know where you live, but keep that in mind. Building the future of crypto. We invest in the next generation of iconic founders. So they're looking for founders, I guess. Bitwise, BYDX, Kraken. Are these the investors? Our approach. What's their approach? Crypto founders see the future. We work with them to build it. Crypto founders need a new kind of partner, one with deep understanding and deep pockets of community governance, tokenomics, and cryptographic and distributed systems, hands-on protocol enterprise, governance, liquidity, and tokenomics. One thing, the more that I do this deep dive into research, is you cannot overstate how important it is for liquidity. And liquidity comes in different ways. It can come from a treasury fund, from the project itself. It can come from, investment, people who want to invest. And also basically the same thing here. Electric capital is the same thing. It's all about the liquidity to get going. Kind of like when you start a business, when they tell you you're going to start a restaurant, you need to have like a year's worth of rent before you even start, on top of whatever you spent to build build the restaurant, like all your tables and china and food and stoves and all the things you need. On top of that, you should have a year's worth of rent, because you might not do well for the first year. Crypto Maniac says, I round tripped last cycle. Looks like I'm about to round trip again. I don't know, man. I mean, if you round trip from last cycle, you got to be up. Even if it's not the amount of money that you thought you were going to be up, right? You got to be up at least something, I would think. If you kept your crypto from last bull run, that's good, bro. You might have crazy pumps. Exactly. It's all yet to be seen, What I'm up is decent. It's not what I hoped and expected out of, the altcoins in this run. I think we've talked about that plenty over on Crypto Lifers show. Everybody is disappointed, but there's got to be a reason for it, right? There's got to be a reason why they have made sure altcoins didn't run. Is it really, is it as simple as, I got two thoughts. Is it that retail? Watchman says I'm back. What are we talking about? We got off on some side salad, right? We were just talking about the market and stuff. Is it that retail bought in a lot during the bear market, like smart money, and now they're not throwing money around into... And Watchmen, we're mostly talking about why we haven't seen altcoins do much of anything this cycle. But so they're maybe not throwing money around in altcoins during the actual bull market? Or is it that everybody's so broke that they don't have any money to throw around? Or is it that crypto has completely failed to capture the attention and excitement of retail? Somewhere in the mix there's got to be truth, right? So I'm up. And I could have been way up. Was up a lot July 24th and right after the election. Yeah. Well, hopefully we're getting at least one more rally, right? Can we get one more rally? Oh, yeah, I already went to this. So this is Iconic Invest. These are investment fund, yeah. I forgot to write down what they are. All right, so let's go to the next one. And actually, before we even go to the next one, I think a lot of retail got scared. Yeah, I think you're right. They did. But what scared them so bad, right? What scared retail so bad? Was it FTX collapse? Did a lot of people say, I'll never go after that dream ever again, or I'll never buy crypto ever again? I don't know what it was, you know. Luckily, I was spared from the FTX thing. So Web3 needs a unified operating system. Now we're back to this whole long article that we're trying to break up, right? Today's blockchain landscape is highly fragmented, with users, apps, state, and liquidity split between chains. This creates headaches for developers and unnecessary complexity for users. Users need to interact directly with blockchain, often with multiple steps and transactions to sign. It's true, very true. So the missing link between chains and users. Now, I'm hoping in this part of the article is where we're going to start actually getting to the technical stuff of what they're doing. I don't know if it's proprietary and they don't want to tell us, but at some point they got to give us a little bit more sauce here. Windows unified the PC environment, introducing a new layer of abstraction between users and hardware. Developers could write apps that work seamlessly on any PC, and users didn't need to understand the underlying code or hardware. This changed the way we interact with the computer. Honestly, what they just said is actually pretty profound. Because we talk about the internet and how it revolutionized the world access to information. I mean, those are things you've probably heard at some point, right? But this is talking more about how Windows as a system unified PCs. And I don't know how many different operating systems there were before Windows and Apple, that is, kind of became the two standards. And then there's Linux as well. I think it's mostly what the military runs, right? And big companies and stuff, right? So, yeah, I mean, the thought process here seems pretty thought out. Those type of things that are very subtle, but I do judge a project by, you know, what's the vision? How much is somebody really put thought into it? Because one thing you'll notice, and it's kind of a bit of a way that I can judge things, is when people are ruggers, they don't put this kind of level of thought into anything. You know, they have somebody drum up something that sounds very hype, not technical, but very hype, and then they sell that because they're really just trying to garnish hype. All right, have I missed anything here? So I think a lot of retail got scared. Okay, so I've read all the chats. So a great unifier. Anoma unifies blockchain into an integrated operating system where builders and users don't need to worry about the complexities of which change or VM virtual machine they're interacting with. It changes the way we interact with blockchains and enables a future of user-friendly, seamless, integrated dApps. I mean, we pretty much already got that information. So unlocking a new phase of innovation. Ethereum introduces programmable settlements, a major leap from the limited scripting capabilities of Bitcoin generation and architecture. This leads to an explosion of innovation in dApps, decentralized applications, DeFi, NFTs, and more, but still limits the type of app that can be built. And it says, so you start with generation 1, really. We're going to read this kind of like backwards. Generation 1 scriptable settlement architecture enables and includes decentralized issuance of currencies and payments with crypto. So that's like the basic. The second generation is programmable settlement architectures, right? So enable and include fungible and non-fungible. What's the difference between fungible and non-fungible? Where's my crypto IQ people out there, right? Tokens, DAOs, or simple forms of DeFi like sales, auctions, and automated market maker-based decentralized exchanges. All right, still good on the chat. Then you have generation 2.5, right? They didn't even make it 3, just 2.5. Application-specific architectures enable more dApps than Gen 2, which includes DeFi marketplaces, order book-based, or MEV-aware DEXs. So talking about DEXs. And then generation 3 intent-centric architecture. So they're saying they are the next evolution. So enables all existing dApps that Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 2.5 enables dApps that we haven't thought about yet. All right, let's do that one more time. enables all existing decentralized applications that Generation 1, 2, and 2.5 enable, and dApps that we haven't thought about yet. I don't know, they lose me a little bit with that, because that doesn't really tell me what they're doing that's so big-brained here. They're just saying like, oh yeah, we're going to do everything that those three did, and then like some stuff you haven't even thought of yet. Okay. And then we'll wrap this up again. We've been breaking this up, so I'm not going to sit here and read this whole long thing. The next big leap. Anoma's intent-centric model enables any kind of application, including things that haven't been possible yet. Okay, still a little too vague. It unlocks a new wave of fully decentralized apps that don't feel like Web3 experiences. So the biggest takeaway that I got from all of this is they're going to make it feel less like the Web3 experience that you know today, and more seamless like the experience you're used to with Web2. That's what I got. Anybody get anything else out of that? Anybody have anything to say about what we just talked about? What is Anoma? Wow, I get a minute to get something to drink. Should have brought more drinks. All right, so back to the ecosystem, right? We left off on electric. Now we have Lanera. Anoma ecosystem. We're going to write that down. I'm going to have a very long list by the time we're done with all of this. So Lanera. Lanera is a unique architecture, lets users interact directly with small chains of blocks called microchains. This is about microchains. I'm going to write that down. Allowing applications to read and write on-chain data with the lowest latency and highest security possible. So what I'm seeing is they have a team looking for any flaws, and they will pinpoint them and enhance the ecosystem, making it way more user-friendly. Exactly. I would say you pretty much nailed that, Blues guy. I would agree with that. And then it's all about intent as well. It's about, you know, what you intend to do and making it possible, maybe making what you intend to do more possible that maybe right now is very complicated or not really possible. That's what I got. The real-time blockchain. Lanera. That's what I keep thinking of. I keep thinking of Lanera. What was the news? Anybody remember the news that was going out about Lanera? What is it, like XRP, Swift, and then they made a post on Twitter. A Blues guy, I'm sure, is all over this. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah, they made a post on Twitter. Then they deleted it and said they got hacked. And then turns around and Lanera had some kind of big partnership with them or something like that. Was really weird. The way that they tried to act like that post was them getting hacked. I don't know. Somebody knows what I'm talking about here. So live testnet Conway entering the portal. Their ecosystem seems to be construct in a user-friendly way and intent to resolve hiccups and bumps linking all different blockchains. Messaging or Swift or something. Yeah, Cryptomaniac knows what I'm talking about. That's why you guys are the main people who are here, because y'all have high crypto IQs. I love to see that. So what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say something to say that again. Oh, it was XRP and Swift. There was a Twitter post of an X post, right? And then something saying they were doing something together, like Swift, the financial system, and then it was deleted, and Swift said, "Oh no, we got hacked," which is always code for we put something out way too early we weren't supposed to put out, right? Somebody messed up. And then after that, then all of a sudden there was like Swift talking about something with Lanera, the project that we've seen trending a lot lately. And so yeah, I probably should go dig into it. I didn't get time to do it today like I really wanted to. But my point was, this is Lanera, and it kept reminding me of a project, but Lanera is the project it was reminding me of. And then I remembered all that other stuff that I went on a side salad about. So let's stay on track, right? Or this will be a week of deep diving Anoma's ecosystem. And that sounds maybe like a little dry, but you know, at the same time, I kind of wanted to get kind of really niched into some things, right? Almost become like pros at something. So Lanera is the first L1 blockchain optimized for the real-time agentic web. So agentic web, what do you think agentic web means? Where have we seen the term agentic a lot? Give a minute, see if anybody gives me an answer there. So microchains, so it was talking a lot about microchains. Lanera's unique architecture lets users interact directly with small chains of blocks called microchains. Let's see. We know about parallel chains, parachains. It's like a very polka dot thing. Where else do we see example of microchains, right? I've definitely seen other projects use something very similar in language. I don't know about application. Lanera. Yeah, Lanera. Making sure I'm saying that right. Lanera supercharges on-chain apps. I don't get the time to go through every single one of these and make sure I know how to say everything, right? Built for the agentic revolution. So there's a hint again at this whole agentic revolution. Minimize integrations, costs, and keep your AI agent safe thanks to Lanera's sparse client. AI agents interact with most Lanera applications directly via MCP or GraphQL. Reminds me of the project The Graph, because it's got its hands all in a lot of that data too. I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's a little bit off topic, but agentic is very much about the revolution of AI agents on the web and how that'll play out. Hyperscalable with guaranteed performance. Real-time communication. I'm not going to read those because I think we've got the point enough here. RWA payments, high-speed DeFi, on-chain gaming and metaverse, DePIN, and Internet of Things. That's what that stands for. It's like, what is that? AI agents and automation, data validation, and ZKs. ZK proofs. Zero knowledge proofs. What will you build? Get started. Bottom of the website. I think we covered it. There's developers, communities, news, use cases. Got some drop downs here. Really all those things I just said. Testnet Conway. There was like a portal. I didn't open it. So this looks like you come into some actual DeFi. Now, one thing, testimony to what somebody was saying about, it was Blues Guy talking about how they take everything and make it very user-friendly. How user-friendly has their website been? I thought it was really user-friendly. So if that's kind of the level that they're going to be holding up to, I think they're going to do really well with that. And I have another couple of thoughts, but I'll hold them for just a moment. The game of life. What does that mean? Conway's game of life on the Linus testnet. Is it an actual game? So how to play. Place cells by clicking on the grid to create your desired pattern. Test your solution by advancing the simulation to check the outcome. Use show hints to help you figure out the correct initial conditions. Man, this sounds way too complicated. This is like the AI version of chess. Use show goal to see the target's pattern you need to achieve. Highlighted areas show where cells should end up. Submit when you solved the puzzle to record it on the blockchain. When you successfully solve the puzzle, return to the portal and claim your points. Now, pure speculation, this is a test net, but it does very much seem like this is something that maybe you could do to earn some airdrop. Earn some airdrop points there. Lanerian role required. Complete Discord quest. Okay. So yeah, this thing very much seems like it's just rolling out. And just this little, infrastructure here where we're using just to go through their ecosystem seems very user friendly, right? Sorry, why did I pull this back up? Because I needed to write something down for Lanera. So I'm going to put layer 1, optimize agentic web. And sorry if it takes me a minute to write this stuff down, but this is how I'm going to keep everything intact here. Back to the ecosystem. And again, there's no way that there's only 4 people watching this right now. I know that's not true. Give it a minute to update. Maybe that is true. Crypto Lifer is live right now, or he was. See if people come over when they're done there. So Orda Network, right? So what is Orda? And this is, we're getting a little bit nerdy here now. So we're probably losing people a little bit to that, which is okay. They have to raise their crypto IQ, I guess. Orda turns intents into real transfers across chain stablecoins and banking systems. Let's go to the Orda Network. Redesigning how money moves. So meet the network that makes spreads transparent and competitive. Okay. And we'll look at their little, data graph here where you just follow stuff. And what are they trying to say to us here? How the flow works? I don't know. I don't quite get it, to be honest with you. Very interesting, though. A unified API for the new financial stack. One developer experience from FX swaps, stablecoin ramps, global payouts, and compliance design for scale. One-to-one ramping, so I'm assuming on and off ramps. Crypto stable swaps. Unified deployment experiences. I think that's what that graph was trying to show us. Intent, method, value. All right. Corridor optimized. So yeah, very techie stuff here. Complete toolkit for instant fiat and stable ramp. So Orda very much going to be infrastructure for finance, for liquidity, for money moving around, redesigning how money moves. Intent network, how Orda works, all the way down here. So Orda couples the what from the how. You can see why that might have been a little weird to read at first. Just define the goal, and our solver network handles routing, fulfillment, and cross-network reconciliation. Okay, I just had a little bit of an epiphany about what they're talking about here. So if your intent is to move money, right? Well, Orda is going to figure everything else out. So is that what the intent layer is really about? It's like you just give it the direction of what you want the end goal to be. Like, I intend to bring, this $100 from Binance Smart Chain to Arbitrum. And I don't have to go here and bridge from there and figure out who works with who and what is compatible. I just go straight to Anoma and I say, hey, this is what I want to do. And it says, cool, that's your intent. That's what you intend on doing. We'll figure out how to make it work. That is what I'm getting here. And if they do that well, then it's going to be a very useful product. It's going to be almost like the AI agent for, it's going to be like the chat GBT for blockchain and crypto. Does that make sense? Like how we go to chat GBT and we just type something in, like, make me a picture of this happening, or, make me a thumbnail, or make me, what is the definition of this, or when did this come out? Like, we just ask it random questions. We ask it to do different tasks. This might be the same thing. Like, you come in here and you just say, hey, I got money here and money there, and I want it to be moved around, and then I want it to buy this, and it just kicks you it out. It's just in your wallet. He says, yeah, that's what I get from it. Very interesting project so far. I like it. That's what I get. That's why it's great. Yeah, exactly. It's like I was getting it all along, but that just really helped me honestly put it all together here. Cool. Well, that makes a lot of sense, and that really talks about use case, or pays tribute to use case, right? So I'm going to put real world transfers. Across chains. That makes sense. All right, on to the next one. Is it a little bit tedious to go through all these? Of course it is, but I think it's worth it. SpartanGroup.io. And honestly, I don't know if I see a lot of these projects like having their own coins and having their own listings, because what's the point, you know? They will use AI. Oh yes, that makes perfect sense to me, but the AI better be good, because if you've ever used ChatGPT, sometimes it doesn't know what the heck it's talking about. I gave the example the other day where it said, do you want me to make a heat graph about whatever topic it was? And I was like, yeah. And then it just like went on this whole rampage about like how to make a heat graph. And I was like, I didn't want to make a heat graph. That was your idea. We advise, invest, and build with the best entrepreneurs on Web3. So again, this is Spartan, and it is about investing. Right, so I'm going to call it basically another investment fund here, right? And you need liquidity. So these would be like your liquidity providers. Let's go down and see if that pans out. Founded in 2017, Spartan Group is a leading player. So they've been around a while. A leading player in the Web3 space. So something like this being around a while and wanting to work with Anoma, very interesting. We are one of the most active venture investors and have backed some of the leading crypto companies and networks. Okay, so they've had their hand in the game of lending money to crypto companies for a while. We are also leading in Web3 M&A deals and capital raises, leveraging our track record of working with world-class teams, deep expertise of the crypto industry, and unparalleled network to create collective value with exceptional founders. They are getting liquidity into the hands of people who want to build crypto, right? Pushing the industry forward. And if you're somebody and you have an idea for some crypto, you're a developer, you want to make a layer one, you want to do something, you can't just go to a bank, like your standard bank, and tell them, they'll tell you to get out very quickly. You know, we're going back just a short period of time. They were talking about 2017. 2017, people were losing access to banks because they had made money and they brought it over, you know, transferred it from, say, Coinbase or Kraken or somewhere to their bank account. And their bank was like, this is fraud. You're done. Get out of here, criminal. And that's just how it was. That was the vibe of everything. So these very specialized places that lend capital to crypto, it was the make or break between people doing stuff and not doing stuff. I think that's an important distinction there. All right, moving on. So that was an easy one. We moved through that one pretty quickly. Now let's hop over. I'm gonna take a break. I kind of like breaking it up a little bit so we're not just like hounding out the same thing over and over and over, right? Binance Alpha was the first to put Anoma on the market. So it was a Binance Alpha spotlight, or Binance Alpha was the first to put Anoma on the market. Very interesting that you said that. Let's pull up the website again and run it down to, they had a part where they were talking about, okay, so backers. Is Binance in it? Definitely saw Coinbase Ventures, as I remember that, because then we looked at Coinbase Ventures and then it ended up being listed on Coinbase. So here's Coinbase Ventures. Let's see. It is a little slow. I wish I could speed it up, but there's no real way to do that. We have Delphi Digital. Whatever that's supposed to say. Dialectic. M1 Ventures. Looks like it's sped up. Yes, please speed up. I just want to see if Binance is in here. They probably have a tab where all of this stuff is. Polychain Capital. There you go. So Spartan, Anagram. Sorry if this is taking a minute. It is important that we see if they have it listed right on their website here. Shout out to everybody who's here tonight. I really should have did this tomorrow night. I didn't realize that Crypto Lifer would be live, but it looks like we're going to be continuing because, I mean, there was like 50 projects. We've done like 7. So tomorrow's probably going to be a continuation of this again. Hopefully everybody's interested. I'm learning a lot, honestly. It looks like it started over and I never saw Binance. That doesn't mean they didn't have their hand in it, but we're going to look at the price. We're just going to back away for a minute from all of that. Let everybody, you know, the pounding in your guys' skull from the IQ being raised of everything we talked about, you know, let that subside a little bit for a moment. And let's just look at a couple other things. Let's go to price. So from 15 cents, it ran up to 24 cents, came all the way down to looks like 10 cents. Blue Sky said 9, and I'm sure it probably did go down to 9. Sometimes the charts are just a hair off. And they've kind of pulled back even from there a little bit. And it's mostly been a slow bleed. Then it kind of bottomed out and rounded out there. It's a little bit of a double bottom, if you even want to call it that. And there's not a lot of information in this chart at all. And Binance Alpha was the first to put Anoma on the market. It's very interesting. Now, one thing that's a little bit more just us speculating and using our brains here, right? Our big brains. What are the odds that all of these different backer and all of these people got involved and there's all of this stuff drummed up and all of these projects in an ecosystem, unless they literally just made fake websites for all these different ecosystems, right? Which it could happen. Seems very unlikely. Seems like somebody would be able to figure out really quick that none of those projects actually exist, right? Anyways, what are the odds that they do all of that just to launch, immediately lose 50% value in their market cap, and do nothing? With big connections with Coinbase. I don't know. Seems a little bit unlikely. Is it a rug pull? One of like the best orchestrated, well-connected rug pulls to ever happen? I don't know. So we're going to switch gears here. Ain't stipulation. We have the link and the interview. Did you mean speculation? I think that's what you meant. Yeah, I hear you. No, I believe that they probably were the first to put Anoma on the market. I don't doubt that at all. But I don't know what kind of vetting Binance does to put you on the market. I mean, when they have crazy meme coins, the marketing's the vetting is probably not that crazy. So what we really want to look at is who is behind the project, right? Who's the founder of Anoma? Thought it was interesting that Crypto Rank gave us like a bunch of co-founders, but no like actual founder. We got 3 co-founders and no actual founder. What's that about? Let's pull it up again. I meant the first to list them, Blues Guy says. Yeah, I follow, man. I definitely got what you were saying. Yep. And who knows, maybe Coinbase was the second to list them. I don't know. Also, I think we did this yesterday as well, where let's just pull the Fibonacci. And price immediately pulled back to the 618. Now, does that mean anything on such a small coin? I have no idea. You know, you're talking about maybe 2 days worth of data there. So I don't know if that really means anything. So we'll come down here. We got 3 co-founders and no founder. Well, according to YouTube, it's just me and you, Blues guy. Said I've looked into it, and they are core focus on one co-founder. His name is Adrian Brink. Oh, that's exactly who we're on. And he came from Cosmos Ecosystem. So yeah, maybe there is no main founder. Maybe all 3 of them are co-founders, right? And they've all kind of, you know, come together on it. He has 29.1 thousand followers. And let's see what his pin post is, right? From day one, you have shown up to support Anoma. Now you can rise up the KDO leaderboard and earn with 1% of our token supply dedicated to rewarding our most active yappers. Okay. This makes sense. KDO AI, the Anoma yapper leaderboard is live. Anoma is building a distributed operating system for Web3. And I get it with the comparison to Windows, the whole Web3 operating system narrative. That makes a lot of sense now. With 1% of their token supply as rewards, 0.7 to their top yappers. And this looks like, you know, Cookie.fun or Hyperliquid. Or wait, Hyperliquid might not be the right one. What's the other one that's just like it? I don't know why it's not coming to my brain. Anyways, where you have like mind share and stuff, and how much you talk about something can, you know, be then put into like mind share, or, you know, different metrics that are then measured from there. Anoma is live. He reposted that. Anoma Pay will unlock stable coins across all chains everywhere. This is almost a better place to look for information than literally Anoma's Twitter, right? So we just deployed the Anoma protocol adapter on Plasma. All assets on Plasma can be used via any Anoma app like Anoma Pay. So they are doing the work, and they're definitely getting the interoperability running. Very interesting. Let's give him a follow and look out for anything he might say in the future. Definitely follow me, Crypto Ron, with the blue check mark, over on Twitter. And if he posts anything crazy, I will definitely repost it. And by crazy, I just mean seems important. So Blues guy said, I've looked into it. Okay, we covered that. Awesome. So who's this other guy, right? Can we go to his Twitter? We'll look at all 3 of them. Who else is here? Definitely seems like people are jumping back and forth, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. It's just odd watching the numbers dip and jump and dip and jump, right? Christopher goes. Testing USDT. Address details. Plasma Net. Testnet network. Okay. And when was that? September 20th. The legend of XAN ADU lives on. Whatever that means. Stop optimizing blockchain. Deeply intense. Very, very weird. Oh man, this thing is an hour. Is this like the interview? Is this the interview that you were talking about here, Blues guy? If not, it's some other, you know, somewhat interview talking about upward shifting innovation to layer applications. Just looking for any gems here. Why are we doing this? Because we're just looking for any gems that might be here. And we will come out of that and we'll check out the other. Man, the pop-ups on Crypto Rank are brutal. I even logged into it and they're still brutal. So these are all the co-founders. For anybody who hopped out for minutes coming back, we're looking at the co-founders of Anoma. Apparently, there's no main founder. These are all, different co-founders. And he has kind of the same picture. I wonder if it's like some kind of NFT project or something, right? How to explain Anoma in 10 seconds. Why didn't we just start here? Bitcoin authorized transaction. Ethereum authorized execution traces. Anoma authorizes in states. Maybe that's a good way to explain it to like a developer. Season 2 is coming of airdrops, and it's going to be extra slippery. Does that mean it's going to slip out of everybody's hands? So those eligible for Season 1 airdrops can now claim. Season 2 will be huge. Well, because we're all over this project, should we maybe stay on top of it and see if we can get some airdrops? So Anoma is building for the long term. So the biggest rewards are reserved for community members, I think we've read this before, who continue past the token generation event and demonstrate long-term support. So whatever they were already doing to farm drops, to farm the air points, they want you to keep doing it. Claim for Season 1. More info about Season 2 is coming soon. Okay, yeah, I'd certainly like to know. Maybe we can get some airdrops. That would be a fun thing to kind of chase down as a community. Start a little tab about it. We're already looking at lighter airdrops. We've talked about how to do it. I'm going to segue for just a moment here. It won't take long. Crypto rank. And let's just pull up lighter for anybody who hasn't seen this. When is Lighter going to launch? They're in a private beta right now. Obviously, that is the whole question of when are they going to launch the coin. It says that they're going to be done with the private beta soon. So does that mean your opportunity to get in there and farm some airdrop going to end soon? I don't know. A lot of people were already, already traders who have come over from the Crypto Lifer group. So this is really up your alley. Somebody said this has seemed way too complicated. I don't actually think it's all that complicated. So you're going to go to the website, connect your wallet and register, create an account, make a deposit, trade actively to earn points. They've actually already changed this. This is not what it said before. Track your progress in the leaderboard and you earn points, right? So they've changed this. Before it was go to their Discord, go through some kind of verification, get approved, get a referral code, then do all of those other things. Then go to the website, register, start trading. No deadline as of yet, so we don't know how long they're going to continue in this manner. The product is usable, and it seems like they've pretty much opened the floodgates. So does that mean it's not in a private beta anymore? Let's go to their Twitter. If they ended their private beta, I have a feeling they would say that on their Twitter. Like, it'd be an announcement, right? Let's see. Yeah, Lighter's private beta ending soon. And here's where I saw you can now trade FF up to 3x. That's Falcon Finance. We've looked at that briefly. All right. Yeah. So I don't see anything here about them ending it. It looks like they did kind of open the floodgates up, though, to all the people coming in. Only 74,000 people following this. And all the research I've done on Lighter after all that time, Hopium Days, that was me saying it looks too complicated. Yeah, that's hilarious. Hey, I didn't know you were here, man. I appreciate you being here. Well, it's less complicated now, Hopium. You just go to their website, apparently, because why would they have changed this, right? Unless it had changed. So now you just go to the website, connect your wallet, create an account, make a deposit, and start trading. And you can earn some points for the airdrop. Now, I said this the other day too. How you go about it, I have absolutely no idea, right? Is it just going to be the few people with the most amount of money making the biggest amount of trades who get on the leaderboard? I hope they thought farther than that, because anybody could get in, like an institution could get in there and just steal all the airdrop. But I mean, it probably wouldn't be the first time to happen, right? Somebody with big money, maybe not an institution, maybe just somebody with a lot of money, just get in there and run up some crazy trades. Maybe they're already a trader. I would hope that they thought a little bit farther than that. So story time with Drew says, lifers supporting lifers, can't stay but smash the like, everyone. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by. Pro tip: to increase your potential share of Anoma airdrop, complete testnet tasks, join gamified challenges, and stay active. Engage in Anoma's community before the mainnet launch. Exactly. And we were just looking at that little game that we were just talking about on, what was it on? Is it on? No, it wasn't on Lanera. Was it on Spicenet? No, it wasn't on Spicenet. I think it was Orda, right? Orda Network? I don't remember which one it was on. Maybe it was on Lanera. We haven't gone over that many of them yet. All right, I see it. Is Lifer hopping off or something? I see a lot of people hopping over. Appreciate all the people hopping over. Hope you guys had a great time over there. I'm a little bit jealous that I missed the stream tonight. I hate when that happens. I wasn't paying attention and realizing it was the monthly candle close, you know, because that happens on a random kind of day when the monthly closes, and I just was already scheduled to go at 8 p.m., and I wasn't going to change it on everybody last second, you know, and also break my streak. So that is from Eden and Anoma, is now open for XAN Season 1 airdrops, and the deadline for redemption is October 5th. That's really interesting, Blues guys. So is it like, I would assume if airdrops are now available, that it was airdrops from things you did prior, and now those are just people claiming from Season 1, and a new season's technically probably started, but that's not going to be open to receive airdrops. Or is it you can claim airdrops and whatever you're doing right now is still wrapped up in Season 1? Basically, are we still in Season 1 airdrops, or have we moved into Season 2 airdrops? I don't know. Anyways, for Lighter, this has been pretty much confirmed. I don't know why you can click completed. What does that do? Why steps done? I don't know why they would care for you to do that. Anyways, moving on. And we're definitely gonna, we're gonna do continued tomorrow on this Anoma deep dive, because we haven't got to the bottom of it. Now, will we do it for 3 days straight? I don't know. We might, because we got through these projects, these 6 projects, and we're moving on to CMS holdings. They're probably not going to take us very long to get through this. So I started with you, then jumped over to Lifer, then back to you, going to catch up what I missed. Awesome Hopium. It was a really good show. It's honestly just really unfortunate the way that it worked out. We covered a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. So for anybody who's hopping over from the Lifers later on or watches this later, definitely recommend watching it. Obviously, if you get to this part, you're already watching it, right? So PA News reports on September 29th that Anoma tweeted that eligible users can now claim the first season, S1, of XAN airdrop, with the deadline being 9 UTC October 5th. Okay, so it's still Season 1. The project also stated that the second season will launch soon, will be larger in scale, primarily rewarding members who continue to contribute. All right, so we can start getting into this airdrop stuff now. So here, let me slow down and think about this. So does it even matter? They don't even, because they're so built on interoperability. Let's go back before we even get into this. They're so built on interoperability that does it even matter what wallet I'm using? Do I need like an Orda wallet? Wouldn't seem like you did. Okay, this was not the website. Let's open up Lanera. Blues guy said, let's go, baby. Yeah, we're going to be definitely trying to farm these drops and see what we get. It'll be really interesting after they close season 1 to see, you know, who got what. Did we all get something? Did none of us get anything? Is this what I clicked on? The test net? So that makes sense. Again, okay, so it is Lanera. I need to put that down here somewhere. Just put game. All right, and then we got to connect a wallet. Let's see what our options are. So MetaMask. I did log in before the stream just in case we needed it. All right, got to take off now. Time with the wifey. Have a good rest of the night, everyone. Thank you, Cryptomaniac. We appreciate you being here. We're rolling into our second hour. This will be continued, Cryptomaniac, tomorrow. So I guess I'm just going to sign it. You can't see what popped up necessarily. Welcome to Lanera. We need a bit of information to get started. A username, Underground Cryptos. I didn't even look to see if it was spelled right. So earn Lanera points. Welcome Underground Cryptos. This is a great way to begin to kind of de-escalate the stream here. There was the Game of Life, and I read it. I think I understand what it said, but I don't really know if I understood what it said. Wait, connect wallet? We already did this. We already connected the wallet. Why we got to connect the wallet again? Is this the user friendliness of the account? Or of the project? We just want to play this game so that we can get some airdrops, Conway. And you're holding us up. Did I mention that this looked really technical when we first did it? Ready to start. Select a puzzle. So they have different puzzles. Guess we start with like the most basic one, right? Create a 2x2 pattern in the center of the board. All right, now I'm nervous. Watch me just do terrible at this. Use the hint to create initial pattern. Submit your initial pattern when the goal is satisfied after 1 generation. I mean, is it ends with 4 cells here? Ends with 4 cells here. Survival. A living cell with 2 or 3 living neighbors stays alive. Death. A living cell with fewer than 2 or more than 3 neighbors dies. Okay. Birth. A dead cell with exactly 3 living neighbors become alive. I hope somebody who's watching this is following and understanding what's going on, because I think I get it, but I don't really know. Start with 4 cells here, end with 4 cells there. Start with here. So how many cells can I put down? Just like infinite? I don't understand at all. Let's play. Okay, and then you click and it like just generates. Okay, you might as well pause because we obviously lost. How do we start over? No, I don't. Okay, so we just keep going until we hit the goal. Is anybody following this at all? I have legit no idea. Start with 4 cells here. I mean, how many generations go by and literally nothing is happening? All right. Let's stop because clear all cells. So it says start with 4 cells here. Maybe that's what we're messing up. Okay, it did something. Blue Sky says I'm lost. This seems like some very techie, nerdy something or other, right? Okay. So you can just hit over. When you hit play, it just does like a million different things. So then they all group together. So what happens when we put 2 more there? Then they broke apart. Create a stable 2x2 in the center of the board. I'm not gonna lie, this would take me a minute to figure this out. And there's like no limit to how many of these I could put, is there? Like, we'll just put a stable 4x4 in the middle of the board. Did we do it? No, we almost had it. Bro, I am so lost. Like, I'm starting to get the idea of it. Like, it just keeps morphing, and it obviously has, you know, it gave us your rules right here of how it does it. But what do I have to be, like, a developer, coder, to like really get this? I mean, it's a very simple game. Okay, we're just gonna hit play because, and then like I can just continually add stuff in while it goes until it hits. So lost. Yeah, you can continually just add in. How much time do we spend on this, right? Will it stop when we hit the goal? Or do I have to like perfectly stop it? All right. We're doing this for the airdrop. For anybody who has no idea what we're doing. Hopefully this is getting us an airdrop. That was the thing about the airdrop. I'm going to shoot this back to Blues Guy. Also, shout out to Blues Guy for being so involved and consistent and pulling things up while I'm live streaming. Helps a ton, you know, because I obviously don't have to go pull them up, and a lot of things I probably wouldn't take the time to go pull up, and he's doing it for us. So big shout out to Blues Guy. Again, like, will it tell us? Oh, we hit it for a second. Here, we'll just click it. There we go. Submit solution. Incorrect solution. I'm lost. I give up. And this is like the tutorial. Show goal. Start with 4 cells here and end with 4 cells here. I'm not the type to give up. I usually spend a lot to make sure I figure it out, but I don't know about this one. I don't know if I can figure this one out. Very interesting. Well, hopefully we just got ourselves some points for some airdrop. And yeah, with it being so different, so you just have to go all through their different projects and figure out what to interact with to potentially get the airdrop. That seems very complicated. What is the Anoma portal? I don't think we've clicked that yet. Okay, so let's connect a wallet. How did we miss this? Okay, so this is your dashboard here, right? View your balance and airdrops. Okay, so now we're on to the right thing. We're on to the right thing here. Send. Is there a faucet? I mean, this is testnet. I should be able to at least get some fake coins for the testnet. Your voting power. XAN tokens locked. So I'm curious, Mexi offers it, has info on airdrop, but no info on how to get it. Wouldn't it just be holding it on the exchange be sufficient to get an airdrop? Not usually. Blues Guy, I don't know how much you've ever worked with airdrops. So airdrops are, the whole point of airdrops from the project standpoint is to put out an incentive for people to do stuff. Usually on a test net most of the time, because it's a test net, they need to test it, right? So they need real participants to come to the test net and actually be involved. So how do they incentivize people to do that? Well, you start an airdrop and then you make it really vague. So like they don't really know what they have to do, or, you know, sometimes there's more information than others, but they don't really know what they have to do, right? So you got tons of people coming to the testnet, interacting with real wallets and stuff like that and doing different things. That allows the developers to really see the way that the main net will work, you know, if they copy the testnet over after they've changed everything they wanted to change. And therefore they can then know that they have a ready-to-use product. And then you're rewarded for that participation through an airdrop. That's generally how it goes. Gotcha. So we are on the right track. Play the game, LOL. Yeah, exactly. That's why I started playing it. So one thing I did notice, if you missed it while you were out pulling us information, which I'm greatly appreciative for, at the top of this says Anoma portal. And when you click Anoma, I have to say that 100 times tonight, XAN's portal here, Anoma portal, then it brings you to this dashboard. And I went ahead and just connected to them via my MetaMask. You know, they really didn't define like what wallets I really needed to use. So I just used MetaMask with an Ethereum address. Obviously, MetaMask has many different blockchains built into it. It's one of the wonderful things about MetaMask, honestly, is that you can switch from BNB to Ethereum super easy. So yeah, I think that would be a good start. Blues Guy, do you have a MetaMask? Anybody who's watching right now have a MetaMask wallet? I would go probably get into this and connect your wallet. I would think though that they would have pulled the games and different things. You know, there should be more tabs here, in my opinion. Like, we just had to go all the way over to Lanera's thing, sign in 2 different times in order to get into this little game that was honestly not the funnest thing I've ever played. Oh yeah, it says a premium mathematician created the game of life. Well, there you go. This game was created by a mathematician, and he probably thinks this game is fun. I do not. But if it gives me airdrops, I'll play it. Oh, okay, so Lanera has quests. All right, hopefully quests are not playing that game. So have the Lanera Discord role. Join our Discord community and get the Lanera role to unlock other quests. This is your first step on the Lanera journey. So this definitely seems like one for the Discord. Definitely make sure you're in the Discord if you want to see more of this. And we probably will do even more of this tomorrow. I think we're going to be spending quite a bit of time on this. But if the payoff is good airdrops, it could be well worth it. Anoma offers MetaMask, Coinage, Phantom, and Rabbit Wallet to connect. Yeah, it sure does. Blues Guy, do you have a MetaMask? You might want to go to the dashboard and go ahead and connect. Even that alone may seem like interaction, right? Because as far as usually farming airdrops, it's interaction. And a lot of times they don't tell you what interaction on purpose, so that you'll just interact with everything, and that helps them with their whole testnet. What I don't love is the kind of broken, the like spaced outness of this. Like, I feel like this right here should be a tab in, and it's a test net, so let's not go too hard on them, right? This should be a tab here. It should say like Lanera, and I should click on it, and that should bring up all of that stuff we were just looking at, right? So in my opinion, I should go over here, click Lanera, and then I should see this. It says I just created a MetaMask. Yeah, you're on your way. I don't know how much you've used Web3 and stuff like that, but that is the real blockchain technology. That is real crypto, in my opinion. And that's what I was talking about earlier. How many people have never even used a Web3 wallet who consider themselves to be crypto people? You know, doesn't mean anything bad. It just means you have another step to take. And, you know, you created a MetaMask wallet. Your crypto IQ just went up by several points. But not a fan of gas fees. I mean, unsure if it's the same as it was back in 2020. No, Blues Guy, it's not exactly the same, but it depends on what network you're using, right? It does depend on what network you're using. There are several networks now that don't use any gas fees, like Wax. Hopefully there's some other things to do, because I don't really want to play that game of life over and over. Says I had it before. Okay, so yeah, you understand how to use it. And I'm not a fan of gas fees either. But the good news here, Blues Guy, is that with this being a test net, it's probably not any real fees. And that's one thing I haven't really seen yet. So for us to play the game of life, although we were logged in, so we have an account. That account is linked to a MetaMask or a wallet. So it's linked to an Ethereum wallet. You want to make sure whatever you're interacting with is real Web3 and the wallet is associated with it, because that's what they're going to take snapshots on. So when they do the airdrops, when they decide who are we going to drop airdrops to, all the time they're taking what they call snapshots, which is just like a picture of a list of wallets, right? And then they're probably using AI or something like that to just assign a certain amount. So imagine it was like every transaction that you did, you got 1 Anoma. And they could set that a million different ways. They're going to snapshot all the time, right? They're going to keep taking these pictures of the ledger and all the interactions. And then at whatever point they decide they're kicking out airdrops, or maybe it's a constant thing, that's how they know what to give you. Anyways, we are on the cuff of that. And it's rolling into 10 o'clock. Got 9 people on. Is Crypto Liver still live? Can somebody tell me? I mean, I guess I could look myself, but I don't want to. What if we just watched Crypto Lifer on my live stream the whole time? That would have been absolutely hilarious. I'm honestly a little sad I just thought of that. CMS Holdings. .io. We're going to go over this project real quick because I don't think this is going to take very long. And we're going to pick this up tomorrow for sure. Proven liquidity. So it's about liquidity. If that's it. Like, that is legitimately the only thing here. So we're just going to write down liquidity for it. Told you it wouldn't take very long to go over this. No, I did not look at it in advance. But kind of glad because it's already 10 o'clock and viewership's been a little slow. I think tomorrow's going to be a much better day. We did the initiation, right? We entered into the deep dive. Even though we spent 2 hours, we just very much started the deep dive here. We didn't finish this. We have so much to get into. I'm excited. It looks like tomorrow's probably going to be a 3-hour show where the viewership's up a little bit. So yeah, next time let's do it, watching the Lifer at the same time. Wouldn't that be hilarious if we just watched the Lifer on my channel? I don't even know how he would feel about that. So we probably won't do that unless it was like for a second, right? And since we're talking about it so much, we'll pull up YouTube. Let's just see. Is he still live? I feel bad because we just started this deep dive, and I feel like a lot of people who would normally be here, they missed it. So their stream ended 22 minutes ago. Okay. And then everybody just went to bed instead of coming over here. That's fine. It's fine. I don't take it personally, not at all. Just playing around. I really don't. All right, guys. Well, anything anybody wants to say, ask him first. Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, I don't think he'd care if I put it on for like a half a second. But if I actually sat here, what would even be the point of it? Because you couldn't chat or anything. So we are still trying to figure out how to get our $5 off of this. It's so weird. Like, I linked a wallet to this game. And the only thing I can think of is they're sending my Darkstar points or coins or whatever to that wallet. And I went through like all my wallets and I can't find it. I even went as far as to go to ChatGPT and put in the wallet that it has set up and ask it like, what wallet is this? And then it says that it's a Solana wallet. So I have no idea, honestly, at that point. Because all my Solana wallets that I'm used to did not have the same contract there. So I got to figure that out. Also, this game's supposed to be built on, what is it, Line and, what's the other one? It's like 2 different blockchains that it's built on. Oh my god, this is intense. And I am not getting... I don't like the way that they set up these controls. Although, like, it doesn't matter at all, but... Oh, just got some health. Maybe we'll survive this thing. But yeah, this is like built on like 2 different blockchains, and so you would think that I would have had to have used like a wallet that would have been maybe associated with those blockchains, but it says it's a Solana wallet. I don't know. Did they just fork the code and ChatGPT didn't really get it? I don't know. Definitely good to see in the wallet to play. So no, when you play this game in the dashboard, I'll show you in a minute, do you have to put money? No, I didn't have to put any money. I just downloaded it and started playing. Then it said you would earn a minimum of $5 a day. And I haven't earned, unless they've been sending it maybe to, it's almost like an airdrop daily kind of thing. It is what I get the idea of, because other things use that, like Telegram games that I play that are brand new, and that Katia I started to do in the Discord and need to really continue to update. I've been messing with them. I just haven't been making the videos and putting them out because I've been so busy. But anyways, they do that where it's kind of like a daily airdrop of their like little token, but I don't even know if the token is really out and actually worth anything. So it's very strange. I rather want to beat this, or I would kind of like to die. I've been trying to get that like magnifier thing that picks up all of the points. Like the entire game I've been trying to get that. I like these little blades that go around. Okay, I didn't need that yet. I should have saved that. These stalkers, whatever these little blades that spin around you and kill the enemy, they're like the best thing in the game. All right, the boss is coming. We were probably about to get absolutely washed by this boss right now. And there's so many things bouncing around the screen. I'm like, what is my stuff and what is stuff he's shooting? Damn, I could have managed to not get hit by that probably. Are we doing any damage to this guy at all? I don't see us living through this, and I'm not spending the resurrection points. I'm saving them. All right, well, that was interesting. So, yeah, on this dashboard here, if you click wallet, it gives me a wallet address. And I remember linking a wallet to this game. I just have no idea what it was. And I'm going to exit out of a bunch of these tabs. We are going to continue that deep dive tomorrow for sure. But we'll pull this up real quick. Actually, just pull it up here. So let's go to Darkstar. And I've done this several times to give this information, and I still don't remember it. I will as soon as I pull it up. It'll all come rushing back to me. So Darkstar. Okay, this Kaya in line. Okay, so I had one of them right. The first AI-powered game online. And Kaya. So that's like, is that the same or 2 different blockchains? I don't know. With 100% airdrops. Okay, so they are airdrops. Everyone can earn a minimum of $5 daily. So they do come in the form of airdrops. That's pretty cool. I wish I had any idea what wallet I linked. It really is driving me kind of nuts here. Because I linked the wallet, so I know that I linked it. But it's not my Soulflare wallet. Scan through it. Intelligence coin? I don't remember ever buying that. So much sketchy stuff that gets sent to your wallet. Yeah, it's definitely not this. I don't know. I got to figure that out. Well, I hope everybody enjoys it. Oh, Miss Williams. Evening all. Better late than never. Well, I appreciate you hopping by. I was actually just about to wrap it up. We went for 2 hours. It was a really good introduction to Anoma and the deep dive. Therefore, we figured a lot of stuff out. I'd like to recap it for you, but it was a lot of stuff. So I highly encourage you to check that out, Miss Williams. And tomorrow we're going to continue. This is probably going to be a 3-day project, but that doesn't bother me at all. I think that's fun, and I think it gives us some direction as a community. And I think this also another thing we learned today, right? This is really important for anybody who's still here about Anoma. We'll get it. The coin just came out yesterday. It hasn't had the best price action, right? But the project is still in testnet. So I wouldn't act like this thing has been rolled out, like it's been completely rolled out and it just completely failed. That's not the vibe I'm getting here. I'm getting the vibe that they decided to launch the coin before testnet was done. I don't know. That's not the order that things are usually done in, but I mean, it's their project, their company. They could do it how they want to do it, I guess. They didn't call and ask me, so I guess I didn't get the opportunity to tell them that was a bad idea. Says, I know, all good. Hey, I appreciate you still showing up, though. And, yeah, so we'll go over it for the next 3 days. But, yeah, what I was saying about the other thing, I get off on so many different conversations. It's hard to keep it straight sometimes. Was just about how I don't think that it's over for the coin. I really don't. I think it hasn't even started for the coin. So many different things, so many well put together ideas, so many other projects built. I don't see a rug pull doing that. Now, can they fail on their own devices? Is every project that doesn't turn out to be everything that it promised a rug pull? No. It's just a term that we constantly use. Rug pull, and a lot of times what we call rug pulls are not actually rug pulls, because it means to pull the liquidity out, meaning you were in control of all the liquidity. You know, you held way too many of the supply and you just sucked all the liquidity out, right? One of those things. Anyways, everybody have a good night. We will continue this tomorrow. And stay underground, stay crypto, whatever that thing was I said earlier that I said was going to be part of my outro. I guess it's not, because I don't remember it now. Something about earning together or something. Learning together. Learn together, earn together. I don't know. Have a great night, everybody. Stay blessed. See you in the morning over on the Lifer channel.